become slightly harder to access, his interest for you goes up.
Have literally given up on black women because they're too hard, they're too masculine.
Just said the reason black love maybe be dying is because black men don't want to commit or be in a committed relationship because they have so many beautiful, educated, phenomenal black women to choose from.
They always want to fight. They act like they want to be a.
I mean, a lot of that might be because y'all get right on the internet and just try to put the man on blast.
She said, "Oh, you have to pay because I paid last month's bill," and I just feel so defeated right now because I am trying. They said have faith of a mustard seed. I'm losing it.
You be a good girl, and you'll get everything you want in life. You be a good girl. You keep your legs closed. You don't be out here fighting in these streets. You talk like a lady. You eat like a lady. You do this like a lady. And what did it get me? Huh? What did it get me? Rage. And nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the good girl who grows up and she turns 40 and she looks around and she's like, what the did I do wrong? I did everything that everybody asked me to do. I was a good girl. I went to school. I went to church. I wasn't sleeping around. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking. I wasn't doing none of that. I was a good girl, and it got me nowhere. So guess what? The good girl is dead. She's dead. That's enough. I said to myself, that's enough. It's time to bring the other girl out, right? It's time to bring the other girl out. Because the good girl, and I love her to death, but she had to die. Because at the end of all of it, you become an adult and you look around and all you have is grief. That's all you got.
So, if you were the good girl, what happened? Your parents didn't tell you the good girl keeps her rate down? I'm sure they told you to get a husband. Did you do that? You worked on your career. You went to college. You feel like that led you astray. I think you let yourself down. See, what happens is people get older and then go against the correct guidance that was given, but they forget on learning certain things. When I hit 16 years old, I knew for sure I had to stay fit or I was going to gain weight. Now, if I was a female, pause on that, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm making a point. If I was a female, the reason why you feel the way you do is because those opportunities, those good men pass you by. You feel like if you were 3 or 4 and just giving it up and being nearly in the streets, you would have landed out okay. No, you would have been more sad. But take a look at what these girls are saying in the comments. Look at this. I'm a 27-year-old good girl. Thank you for this video because I feel the rage building and I don't want to feel worse than this at 40. Man, it sounds like a weed problem. A lot of girls are going through this. Not just y'all. Because it's not just 3 or 4s running around. It's girls that weren't 3 or 4s. You guys know I spoke about it before, right? Even girls with fathers, they're corrupted. And it's weird because it seems like the whole community was corrupted. And what's happening now? You guys know what's happening. But check this out. I turned 40 this year. And the good girl disappointment era is not talked about enough. It literally gets you nowhere. We were manipulated into being palatable and obedient. It sickens me. Who takes over then? Who gave them feminism? You guys already know the man with the 2 horns. That's what they're ready to side with. I'm tired of being a good girl. It got me nowhere. Let me be bad. Take my money. This is what the date market is now. What do you think they're gonna be bad? What are they gonna do? Time to be bad. What is she talking about? Take it. Sad, man. Very sad.
Onto every time, distance, not games, not attitude, not arguing, distance. Okay? When you become slightly harder to access, his interest for you goes up. When you're always available, his urgency goes down. It's not personal. It's psychology. People value what they have to reach for. So if you're always within reach, if you're always right there, reaching for him all the time, no space at all, you're not going to be pursued by him.
Getting it back was saying something good to her. No. You guys heard it, right? No. The kid is trying to tell you.
You're going to be used to convenience.
All right. So you see what's happening. Oh, no. You got to give him some distance. And the comments are so nothing but females. But you think men are watching too. This is the problem. Even the girls. I was a good girl all my life. Crying. I want to get clapped up. I want a round of applause now. And her, oh, well, you got to give him some distance. All of these games leaves you all stuck in the game. They're not realizing the problems that they're causing for themselves. And this is why a generation of men quit chasing. Why would a man chase her? She's saying she's going to give distance. So what would a man have to do?
Run.
Start jogging and chase her. And lady, this is sad because I hate to point out the obvious. Have you looked in the mirror? You do know. See, I gotta tell it, man. Competition is on a world scale. And if you look in the mirror, you're not competing that much because a guy doesn't even have to leave the city to find something that's gonna, be ready to get him. These ladies don't realize this. And that's why it's so hard on them, because men are not chasing you.
Those days are over.
Quite literally nothing worse than the guy that you've had rats around your finger for so long, finally realising that the grass is greener somewhere else. There's nothing worse. It's just like they were at your beck and call. Anything you need, anytime, any place. And you just take advantage of it, don't you? You do. You don't even give me the time of day no more. You just don't even give me the time of day no more. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take advantage of you. Come back. Probably got a girlfriend. I know she's getting treated right.
When you stop chasing after women, bro. The moment you decide physically, spiritually, and emotionally to stop chasing after women, you will improve and level up. Think about it. Anything that you have to chase, that means you're running after it. That means it's running away from you. That means it's repelled from you. Your person is out there, but because you're so busy chasing after this person that's not even looking your way, you don't have your eyes on a woman that's already liking you and that's already got her eyes on you. So you must stop chasing after things that's running.
You hear what this man said? You don't have your eyes on a female that likes you. Reciprocation. Men have awakened. Men in this generation have awakened. A woman needs to have her eyes on you. Come on now.
Away from you. Not thinking life should be chased. That goes for money, women, friendships, anything you have to run after, anything that is running away from you means it doesn't want to be with you. But your life literally improves when you're focusing on yourself. It's a thing called monk mode when you just focus. You're working on your job. You're working after your purpose. Your goals. You may be a content creator. You may be a coach. You may be creating things. You have more time to do that because you're not chasing after women. Whole dating multiple women, bro. This is how I know y'all don't really be with women for real, because dating multiple women is exhausting, bro. You're spending a lot of money, a lot of time, and energy. Things you need to accomplish your goals. You're giving that away to women when you could be putting that shit into you. Your relationship should be working in harmony. Think about that time, money, and energy that you can use to pour back into yourself. Invest into yourself. Invest into your body. Invest into your wardrobe. Invest into your hygiene, your health. These things will help you ultimately be more attracted to where you're not chasing them. In fact, you'll actually magnetize women to you. This is not a post to tell dudes to just avoid women, but just telling you to focus on yourself. You should be putting yourself number one. And to remember that anything that you have to chase, that means it's running away from you and don't want to be with you. It's okay to have a little bit of pride. To have enough pride to be like, man, why am I running after this person to change their life?
Yeah, because that's all it is. You're running after someone to change their life. And these ladies don't get it. That's what I said, oh, well, you know, when you start ignoring men, no, that's not going to work. You're going to keep getting on TikTok posts looking sad. That's all withdrawing yourself from men is going to do. You see it going on, girls. Oh, well, you know, this new movement we're doing, we're doing a 4B. We're going to show those guys. Oh, yeah, you're going to show us. Guys are used to being alone. You have to understand it, ladies. And until you do, it's only going to get harder and worse.
That if you're dating someone and you get a bad impression of them the first time, that is as good as it's ever going to get. So I got back on the dating apps and I matched with this guy, and we were having a really good conversation through messaging, so I decided to ask him for a video call. So we get on the phone and we were having a really good conversation on the phone at first. So the conversation was actually going so well that he asked me to go on a date the very same day. Our taste in food wasn't really that similar, but he did say that he liked seafood and he knew a good seafood restaurant. Mind you, he did also ask me what area I lived in before he gave me the name of the restaurant. So I looked up the restaurant on Google just to see what it was. It was something similar to like Juicy Crab, which is fine. Then I put the name of the restaurant into my GPS and I saw that it was like an hour and 20 minutes away. I assumed that we both lived kind of far from the restaurant and we were meeting in the middle to go to this restaurant. So we set a time and then we actually stayed on the phone for a little bit after that, and the conversation just went downhill from there. This man starts talking about himself incessantly, and he's talking about how good he looks, and not only how good he thinks he looks, but how good other women perceive him to look. To the point that he even told me that he was watching himself in the FaceTime camera. But he does start asking me questions, such as, when I go out, how often do men hit on me? So I say, I don't know, I guess as much as any other woman, because what's the relevance of this? He moves on. He asked me if I smoke. I told him, no, I don't smoke. It says that on my profile. And he says, what?
So you've never smoked before?
I have smoked before.
Yeah, I could tell.
What is that supposed to mean?
You have dark lips.
I don't have dark lips from smoking. I have dark lips genetically.
No, I'm pretty sure it's from smoking.
I've probably smoked 5 non-consecutive times, not even in the same year. That's not how it works.
All it takes is one time.
I should have hung up the phone right there. P.S. Because I know you're watching this video, that's not how that works. Anyway, we move on from that, and then he wants to play a game. Well, the game is, can I guess how much you weigh just by looking at you? I don't really need to play that game. I could just tell you how much I weigh. But he insists on playing this game, and he said he wants me to see how good he is at guessing people's weight. Cool beans. So I stand up, I go to my mirror, and I turn the camera around. But I have like a t-shirt and some joggers on. And he says, you have big clothes on. Sir, this is your game. You told me you could just look at me and tell how much I weigh, so how much? But I throw him a bone and I pull my shirt back so it just looks like a fitted shirt. This man says, and I quote,
Do a 360 for me.
I think the not. So he laughs and tells me he was just joking. No, you weren't. Then he guesses that I weigh somewhere between 150 and 165. That is a gigantic range. I don't look the same at 150 as I do at 160. You got it.
So you see what's happening so far. She's showing a dislike for what he's saying. The man said he looks good. She's still talking to him. Obviously, she likes him. She was willing to put up with everything he was dishing out because he looked a certain way. And most guys know this. Because if that was the regular old Joe Schmo that doesn't really get girls like that, you wouldn't be talking. You would have quickly disengaged yourself and left the conversation and said, oh, I have to do something.
Game over. So can you guys guess what I did next? Correct. I got off the phone and I called my sister. And I don't know if I explained it incorrectly, but she told me that I might be overthinking it and she wouldn't have anything of it. And I told her I was considering canceling the date, and she told me to give him a chance and it might be better in person. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. So I got ready, I drove there, and it took like an hour and 15 minutes. And he got there maybe 3 or 4 minutes after I did. We get in the restaurant, we get seated, and immediately it is super awkward. I could tell that he does not know what to say, so I try to carry the conversation, but he's not asking me any questions back, and he's not posing the questions that I'm asking back to me. He's just answering the questions and moving on. Then the waitress comes to take our order, and he is low-key flirting with this waitress, which is not only crazy because I'm sitting right here, but it's like, we don't even have this type of chemistry, and we're the ones on the date. So she walks off, and he kind of explains that he frequents that restaurant. So I'm like, all right, still inappropriate, but cool, you know her. And the answer is no. So we move on, and we're talking, and I realize that my back is hurting from carrying this entire conversation. So I stopped talking, thinking that he's gonna start talking, and that's not what happened at all. So now neither of us are talking, and he keeps picking up his phone and putting it down, and then at one point he started to watch the game at the bar. So I tried to make one last-ditch effort to make conversation, and this is how it went.
Wow.
Oh, so you like football?
Yeah, but neither of my teams are playing today.
Cool. Would you describe yourself as a shy person?
Not at all. What will make you ask that?
I don't know, you know? You're not really saying much, though.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't really talk much on first dates because I like to get to know more about the other person.
Okay, yeah. Well, you haven't really asked me a lot of questions.
What's your favorite color?
Fortunately, the food comes out, and it's still kind of awkward, but it's less awkward because we're eating. But when I tell y'all I was almost too disgusted to eat.
Y'all.
Not only was it messy, but it was also loud, and he was eating super fast. Not only was it messy, but it was also loud, and he was eating super fast. So he got done way before I was done, and for the rest of the time that I was eating, it kind of felt like he was rushing me to get done. So I'm assuming he had somewhere to be after that, and I asked him, were you trying to go somewhere after this? Which, poorly phrased. He assumed that I meant us, and he asked me if I wanted to go get dessert after that. Absolutely not. But somehow it came up that we both really like ice cream, and he suggested that I take him to go get ice cream on our second date.
She's still going through everything. You gave the man about 3, 4, 5 chances. This is what you're telling men on the internet. She doesn't see it though. You don't see it though. You're telling us the problem that we know is true is true. And they wonder why men quit chasing, why men are done. I don't know why so many of you can't process why we just stop trying. This is why. She's showing you in 1080p. Pretty soon I'm going to get the 4K so you can watch this in 4K. But why do you all act so shocked?
What? And he repeats himself.
On our next date, you should take me to go get ice cream.
Yeah, so that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I was not done eating, but I was done eating, and we got the check, and we left. Before we departed, he told me to text him and let him know when I got home safely. I told him you do the same.
Obviously,
I didn't even get to the highway before he texted me that he was home. I told him that I got home. I also told him no longer interested in dating him. He asked me why. I told him exactly why. He apologized, he explained himself, and I actually gave him another chance after this. But the next day we just ended up arguing 2 times, and then later on that day he reminded me that he was very serious about me taking him to go get ice cream on our second date, and that just pissed me off all over again, and I ghosted him. Oh, and I did see that you followed me on TikTok before you left that comment under my video. So in case you were wondering, we will never speak again.
Yeah. All those chances. Why did she give him all those chances? All by myself. Don't want to be all by myself anymore. That's what ladies are going through. Too bad men have to deal with that. Look what's happening. That man gets unlimited chances. He messed up before the date. Then in her mind, he messed up during the date. And then she dated him again. The man was about, what is it like? Usually the third date, fourth date, they're trying to smash. He was close. If he would have played his cards right, she'd have been giving it up. And you think about how many dates girls go on, and you see they hit to the point where they're 40, you're going, what did I do? I was the good girl for so long. I bet you were. I bet you were.
Opinion, man. Like, you know, like how women be saying, some women be saying that they, you know, men don't chase women no more, men don't pursue women no more, men don't approach women no more. I mean, a lot of that might be because y'all get right on the internet and just try to put the man on blast. You know, like if you're not attracted to the man, or if he say something that you didn't like at the time or something, you'll try to put him on blast. And then men are seeing all these videos and social media posts on here about how, you know, women saying that, why did this dude approach me, this and that. It's almost like y'all want the approach. Okay, so you know, like back in the day, like in the movies that came out, like in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, it seemed like y'all want men to come at y'all like that, you know, like approach you like in the store and be like, hey, excuse me, you know, I just thought you were just drop dead gorgeous, so beautiful. I had to come over and introduce myself. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want the man to like be persistent with pursuing you after that and this and that. But I mean, times are different now. We have what you're looking at me on right now, the phone. The phone is the problem. The phone is a problem because everybody has so many options right now, or they think they got so many options now. So that man that tried to approach you, wherever he approached you at, and you think you didn't like him for whatever reason, you know, or you probably did like him a little bit, but for some reason you found a way not to like him. So men are just tired of like going through the jumping through the hoops, and you know, like you're not that persistent no more. Because I mean, we know you got your phone. You can get on a dating app, you swipe and find you another guy. Get on Instagram, find another guy. Get on TikTok, find another guy. Just you know what I'm saying, or go back outside and find another guy. So it's like y'all want the men to, I'm not gonna say y'all, but it's like some of y'all want the man to be very persistent, like how Lorenz Tate was in that movie Love Jones, like how he was hella persistent. It's like y'all be wanting that, but y'all don't even want to accept the dates, like, you know, going for a walk in the park, going for a coffee date. Y'all don't want to accept that. So the times are different. The dynamic is different. So it's like you got to kind of meet somebody in the middle. If you want to see where it can lead to, y'all got to meet each other in the middle, like mature adults. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about, do you think black love is dying? Do you think that the possibility of having long-term black couples together is something that we don't see anymore? Because he's asking that.
Well, you know
why do you think that is?
I'm going to tell you exactly why. Back in the old days, like my grandparents.
The olden days?
The olden days. The olden days.
Okay.
Good old days.
Okay.
My grandparents were together probably like 50 years.
Gosh,
you know how
I think that's
dated?
amazing.
They only dated for like 2 weeks.
Ooh,
he was getting
that's
ready to
a
go
topic.
to the military.
After we talk about this, can we talk about how long you should date before you should, you know?
But the thing I'm finding is most black men don't want to get married. They want to
black men.
They want to play
or I don't
house.
know. Ooh. Okay, so let's talk about it. Carlos, she just said the reason black love maybe be dying is because black men don't want to commit or be in a committed relationship because they have so many beautiful, educated, phenomenal black women to choose from.
Someone call a search party because these TikToks are lost in Delulu land.
Nowadays, people just, yes, country boy. I know you're not like that, country boy. He said these days people just like to use people.
They do. They
don't want to be used, but you have no choice. Either you get used or you stay single. Why is that? Divorce court. Men are scared to death of divorce court. You ladies you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball. Actually, the government dropped the ball. When they allowed no fault divorce, that was the end. But men still take chances, usually in other communities. And I don't know how a man would take that chance when the government controls your marriage. I'm telling you guys. That's why I made the decision I made. It's hard out there. It's hard out here for a pimp, Dano. Seriously, it really is hard.
Happening in the black community when it comes to us dating. Men have literally given up on black women because they're too hard, they're too masculine. They don't want to. They always want to fight. They act like they want to be a
real talk alert.
So men go elsewhere. Instead, we should show more love to this damaged creature.
Right.
Operating out of her power, which is femininity.
Because I know why.
But we are like, man, but the same mindset. Like, I'll just go get somebody else over here.
100%.
But it does. But if you actually gave love infiltrates shit like that. It breaks down that bad behavior.
I don't know. I don't think love can break down bad behavior. Some females, it's embedded since birth and it doesn't leave. Do I think people can change? Yes. But has it changed yet? No. And do I see it changing anytime soon? No. Because like the other brother said, the phone is the kryptonite. And you can see it. What do you see? Because they spew everything. Like even this shit me done.
Life has its way of truly humbling you. Oh God. It's like, what the did I do so bad to deserve this? I'm just stressed the out. I'm stressed out. I just went to this place for them to help me pay my power bill. I never did anything like that before. And you know, of course they couldn't do it. So I came to the power bill company to pay my power bill, and I just said I'm gonna give them everything I got, and I'm gonna make payment arrangements for when the baby is due because I don't know when I'm gonna have it again. She said, "Oh, you have to pay this month's bill too because I paid last month's bill," and I just feel so defeated right now because I am trying. I am so trying, Lord. It just seems like everything is just God. They say have faith of a mustard seed, but I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm mentally exhausted. I'm trying my best, and I'm doing this by myself.
Where is your husband?
I'm doing this by myself, God. I'm tired. I am exhausted. I'm tired. My children don't deserve this.
I don't understand. I just don't understand how so many of us know God or know of God and refuse to just follow the instructions and then are surprised at the consequences for not following the instructions. The issue of single motherhood in the black community makes zero sense when you consider that 73% of black American adults profess to be Christian. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a problem. But, you know, I kind of understand where she's coming from because a lot of people are lost. So you can't put her on everybody. Like I had my son when I was still lost. Then a couple of years after I gave my life to God. So I understand what the brother's saying because I believe in God. And yes, you should marry before you carry. But a lot of these girls are lost in the sauce. But I'm going to get into their problem after this. So check this out.
TikTok come down my feed of a young man doing a green screen of this black woman who has come on the internet talking about the hard time she's having paying her electricity bill. She went someplace to get help. She didn't have all the documents that she needed, so they can help her. She went to her power place to pay what she had and then make some arrangements. They told her she couldn't do that. So she's just in her car crying because she feels helpless and hopeless. And she's just talking about doing it all herself and how stressed out she is. And this young man decided to take from that video and label it single mom struggling and saying that black women or women are enabling this bad behavior because, you know, she keeps having babies and she knows she can barely take care of herself and the kids she has. And while that is true, now one of the things I talk about here is that empathy does come with boundaries, right? Like you can't override boundaries simply to have empathy when people are making bad decisions for themselves.
You know, I understand what she's saying. The empathy, she's pointing out the book, The Empathy Gap, right? But this is the thing. You shouldn't have put the video on the internet. Why did you put that video on the internet? Because you want some sympathy and some empathy. So a person can see that video and hand you over some cash. Because I bet you, if you go down the comments, you need some help, I'll help you. What do you need? Actually, I'm going to search it right now. I got to see this. I got to see it. I think I can find the video still. I got to see this because I got to show this to you guys. Judging righteously in John 7:24, Jesus tells us stop judging by mere appearances instead of use fear. Empathize with her. We've all committed the same sins over and over. The problem is the consequences of sleeping with someone you're not married to. This also applies to everyday life. She deleted her account. She made a video about making fun of someone who was broke. So she deleted her account. But this shouldn't have been on the internet, because if someone would have said, don't worry, I got your back, I'll take care of it, she would have took the money and kept making videos like that, kept making sympathy videos, playing on people's empathy. I think that's dead wrong. And we got to call that out too. Not just say empathy gap. No, this is a problem nowadays. Too much of the phone, like that one brother said.
And clearly, she's made some bad decisions for herself to continue to have children, knowing she's having a hard time taking care of the one she has, right? But if somebody comes on the internet and they're saying that they're tired, sometimes that tired is not just physical and mental. That tired could be, I don't want to be here anymore. And so not only would she take herself out, but she would take the baby she's carrying out with her, possibly. And then her children that is here is left without a mother. And so when I watch the video, while I do understand that she has to take some level of accountability and responsibility for where her life has ended up. She didn't get there by chance. She got there by circumstances that she's allowed herself to be in to get there. But this is not the time to start preaching at people when they're hurting, when they're crying, when they're upset, and when they feel like checking up out of here. Now, I'm not one of these people. I have a different belief about suicide than most. I believe if people are driven to suicide, the level of pain they must have been in was unbearable. So I don't see it as a selfish act. I think it's selfish when people decide they don't want to be here anymore and we beg them to stay for us, not examining the amount of pain they're in. But if somebody's coming to the internet and they're crying and they're upset, it's not the time to give them that lecture. And if you can't engage in...
See, females accept this. Men don't feel emotional and start crying to a phone. She's crying to a phone. Obviously, you're selling something. Even if you don't want the money, you want empathy. You want that. Look, because of this internet age, that's when it started. Think about back in the day. Think about when there wasn't any internet. What did people do? You had some people that unalive themselves, but they spoke to therapists. They spoke to somebody. They got on their phone and called someone. Guys, this generation is done. Seriously. Men don't see no hope. And there's no hope because you got females like this. I'm not trying to bash her. I understand what she's saying. And I said the same thing. He's preaching at her, and that wasn't the time to preach. He's right with what he said, though. But he went so too deep on, we got to give our lives to God. Yeah, I understand that. You got to meet people where they at. She doesn't understand. She's not there yet. But stop getting on the internet begging for empathy, because this is what you're going to get. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. I put a lot of thought into these videos. Other than that, peace out. See you next one.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.